Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here. It is Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. EST, and today is probably going to be pretty quiet in the markets. We have NVIDIA earnings, and that's going to happen after the market close. Now, that's important because NVIDIA really is kind of the bellwether for much of the stock market. It's a massive company. There's been a lot of news around it. We'll talk a little bit about that right here. And also, there's FOMC minutes today. So FOMC minutes matters because we had the Fed rate decision, and then after the rate decision a week or two later, what they'll do is they'll let you see what the conversations were in the background at the FOMC, right? All the factors that go into, hey, we're going to do this with the rate, we're going to do that with the rate, the kind of things they're looking for, forward guidance. Now, of course, this is all going to be released to the public, knowing that it is for public consumption. So probably won't be a lot of surprises. But when you got the minutes happening at 2 p.m. EST, and then you have NVIDIA earnings at the end of the day, and you have a short week, and you have sell them and go away, and you have a lot of things going on, the market can just be kind of slow. And that involves, forex and everything else. So we'll go ahead and run through everything. And then once I go over to the private live lab, we'll answer those questions, and it may end up just being kind of a short day. We'll see about it. So look, NVIDIA right now, if you look at the high time frame, let me go ahead and expand the chart to see the high time frame. In the end, it's kind of bullish. It's bullish against resistance, but NVIDIA is just a company it's AI. They make chips. They're probably going to keep going up. We had the big move down at the beginning of the year due to tariffs. It's already headed back up. It's very much matching the NASDAQ because much of the NASDAQ is made up by NVIDIA. Now, what happens at this juncture is kind of important from purely a charting perspective. And I'm not saying this really matters because everything matters, but really what happens at the end of the day with a company like NVIDIA is going to have to do with really what's going on across the board and blah, blah, blah. But you could see the beginning of a right shoulder, right? Now that would be pretty bearish, but I don't think it would go too far down. And honestly, NVIDIA being as important as it is, I don't think it'll be allowed to go down. But if for some reason we got a market shock, new tariffs, something crazy, then this could actually head down pretty far. But I don't see that happening. I just don't. If you look at the current time frame, I see price having a hard time breaking its all-time high, maybe even having a hard time reaching its all-time high. Now, this is a weekly chart, right? So this is a very high time frame chart. Yes, some very obvious resistances here where price is going to have a hard time getting above all those lines that I just drew, right? So let's just say that the earnings today were rather bullish, right? So let me jump down to a lower time frame. Let's just say that whatever data we get says, oh, NVIDIA is healthy or, whatever. Then the first level that NVIDIA is going to have to break in order to really kind of start to have some momentum upwards is going to be about $137.45, $137.45. Now, if it does that, the next resistance where price pivoted before that is at 143.52, or is that, yeah, about 50, 143.50 or so. Now, here's the thing about this. Right now, there's not a lot of momentum. There's not a lot of money going into NVIDIA or anywhere else. It's the time of year where things slow down. Now, price is gapping up on the pre-market. It might be hard to see on this screen. It looks like my screen might even be frozen. Let's fix that. After all that talk, I thought I had fixed that. Okay. Back to this. These are the levels right here, 137.46, 143.50, right? And you can see if you go back in time where these levels pivoted right there. And this is your all-time high, right? So you had the all-time high sitting at 153. And in all, reality, we're not that far off the all-time high, but things slow down this time of year. And again, the momentum is not that great, but you can see in the pre-market, it might be hard to see on this screen, but it's 136.42 gapped up. So price is already up a little under 1%, maybe 0.5%, before the market even opens, right? So there is some speculation. And then the news with NVIDIA is that they're going to start making chips that it's okay to give to China, right? So supposedly our high level chips that we make were not allowed to be given to China. Word is that they got over to China anyway, and they're using them for AI and stuff like that. But there's a new chip that we're going to make that hopefully will help us recapture market share over there. That might be a bit of a tailwind to the stock price, meaning it might push price up. It just, I think the earnings data is going to have more effect because that news is already out. And price did move up substantially prior to the earnings here. We're on the 3-hour chart. So going back to last week, price is up from 114 all the way up to like 137. So that's going to be roughly, what is that? 12%. Let's go ahead and mark that out. 20%. It's about a 20% move up. That's big. It's huge. NVIDIA is a big company. We got V the Gorilla here. Let's go ahead and have him jump in with us. V the Gorilla, how are you?
Hey, good morning, man. Isn't it amazing that everybody's waiting on two things, right? What the central bank manipulators are going to do and say, and what one microchip company that's completely overvalued on one SKU is going to be shelling out for the public. So everybody's waited on bated breath for basically two fake bullshit organizations to put out whatever they were going to put out. It's laughable when you take a step back and you look at it from a 30,000 foot view. It's hilarious to see, man.
Well, markets are, they're at this point pretty fake. I mean, There's reality to them. I'm not saying it's entirely fake, but just there's a lot of fakery that goes on in markets, and it's not our job to say, oh, this is not real. No, play the game. I mean, it's all very playable. You can make money in the markets.
We need NVIDIA in order to create AI because AI is going to wake up and become conscious and take over the world.
Yeah. Okay. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's just, that's all just
marketing.
That's a.
The funny thing is, it's like when you listen to guys who are supposedly close to working with AI and they're very close to AI, next to AI, they're AI adjacent. They're like, yes, it's lying to us. It's becoming conscious. It's not even telling us where the power source is, so we can't even cut it off. And it's because it's really working against us. It amazes me how certain people, and this is why like the viewpoints are important, right? You could be a historian. Right. Let me flesh this out. Imagine if you're a historian, but your historical view of World War II is completely skewed. Right. You have this view that the United States came in, whooped everybody's ass, took everybody's name, and then rode off into the sunset and set up the new world order where we had 100 years of peace, where the city on top of the hill, the light of then the beacon of freedom, and all this other stuff. If that was your view of World War II, then every other thought in your brain is going to be a concocted fantasy. And I've seen this with a lot of tech bros who are working in tech, because you'll hear things like, oh, yeah, dude, I think AI is really becoming conscious in this. It is a predominant American thing. You don't see this outside of the Western world. And the reason for that, even these young guys and these tech bros and some of these older gentlemen who are working on AI, they've all been inured, they've all been conditioned, they've all been psychologically prefaceted to believe the Hollywood sci-fi trope when it comes to AI. And this is the reason why this guy, Jensen, whatever his name is, Wang, whatever the CEO of NVIDIA, which was just a graphics card manufacturer prior to all of this thing kicking off. And now you're telling me a stupid microchip company based on some bogus stock valuation is worth more than ExxonMobil? But that's the crazy world we live in. That's the psychotic world we live in. People are so prone to fantasy. You see it in government. Everybody has the Marvel Comics view of foreign policy. We're the good guys, they're the bad guys. It's us against them. It's a light versus darkness. It's us against the hordes of Mordor. Nothing.
The hordes of Mordor.
Yeah, the hordes. The hordes of Mordor. The hordes might as well be the hordes of Mordor. You know what the hordes of Mordor. Then you look at Washington, D.C. if you want to see some whores. Speaking of which, the fuck's going on with Doge? You expose all this fraud, and Congress is sitting around doing nothing.
Well, yeah, the fox is watching the hen house over there.
That always works out good.
Yeah, the government has investigated the government, and the government has found that the government has done nothing wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is whatever. I mean, look, I'm long past cynicism. Number go up, go long. Number go down, go short. Take your money out, buy assets, do what you can before the AI becomes sentient and all work is automated.
Yeah.
Yeah? I mean,
I've shown you guys the video. I'll share the video of the advancements in AI. Let me show you here. So this is one of the. Let me show you one of the latest advancements in AI. Cowboy, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to ask to share my screen. Share screen.
Are you having a hard time sharing the screen?
No, I have it. What is this?
There it is.
Please bring it up. This is one of the advancements in AI. I want you guys to see. This is a gentleman who's lost his arm and using the advancements of AI because everything's going to robotics, everything's going to automation. This is to help people that have lost limbs to, function normally. Grab water, a bottle of water, I don't know. And this is what happened. He is.
Suite à un accident de travail. Pierre-Patrick, bonjour.
Bonjour Michel.
Alors Pierre-Patrick, c'est une première en France. On vous a installé une prothèse de bras bionique. Expliquez-nous.
Écoutez, c'est la 2. Oui, attendez, parce que je vais... Attendez, parce qu'il y a mon aide-soignant qui est pas... Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider?
Oui, voilà.
Parce que c'est le...
Je vais essayer.
non.
Visiblement, ça ne marche pas.
Attendez.
Pierre-Patrick, vous n'avez pas perdu la main.
Est-ce que vous pouvez couper le...
On va regarder un sujet sur la voûte plantaire.
That's
okay.
Is the advancements of AI.
Yeah, good old AI advancements, right? I mean,
it's a great tool, but in terms of like what people are talking about, in terms of like it's going to replace. It's going to be smarter than people. Define people. Define what people are you talking about, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say people is a pretty mixed bag. I know
It's a mixed bag.
I know some people who that's not very impressive to say that they're smarter than some of those people, man.
Exactly.
Ah, boy. Well, yeah. So that's NVIDIA in a nutshell. I mean, to look at it, I think you're going to get price wise. It's going to bump its head if it even goes up. It's probably going to bump its head at 137.45, or if it can break up, there's just not a lot of momentum in price right now. It'll go up to maybe 143.50. Your next level up is about 149. Those are the levels where it's going to have a hard time getting past that. And quite frankly, when you see this kind of extension right here, this move up from the low at 86 during the panic, I don't know. I don't think it's going to really make it past all these or many or any of these levels. I think you're going to get sideways or slight sideways to up. FOMC, I don't think is going to be any big surprises either. I think Powell, whatever their forward guidance is, they're just going to, be data dependent. Yeah, I think today is going to be kind of a snoozer. You never know, and you're not going to know until it's almost time for market close. So given how slow today is going to be, you're probably looking at I'm not really going to trade. I mean, I might scalp a little bit here and there, but that's like sitting in front of the computer watching paint dry at that point. So, but that's what we got. Now we're going to head over to the private live lab. So V the Gorilla, can you get us out of here over to talk to everybody in the private?
Absolutely. Listen, guys, don't sit on the sideline being jostled around by marketing BS. Join us, algofactory.tech. Learn how to profit from the market, from the times, from the chaos, and from the tumult. Join us every single day, Tuesdays through Thursdays, because Mondays and Fridays is just a moot point. That being said, we're over and out. Cowboy, take it away.